Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C and this is your latest news update from the conflict in the Middle East. Yes, for the first time since the war has broken out between Israel and Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Israeli Air Force have now entered the capital and they have successfully managed to bring down the Iranian regime's air defense system. There's so much happening right now as we speak. There's a lot of updates coming in. Of course, with the help of our team, we are verifying everything for you guys. We're going to keep you guys posted on this. But let's talk about what actually happened. Of course, yesterday, the last update we had for you guys showed that the IRGC were relatively successful in their attack on Israel and Tel Aviv. The last time we spoke, we did confirm that at least one person was killed by the Islamic Republic in Israel. The number has now gone up to 4, I believe. 4 Israelis have now been killed by the Iranian regime. This simply puts more pressure on Netanyahu, politically speaking, to finish the job. And as expected, the IDF are acting very, very swiftly. So first things first, more than 70 Israeli fighter jets are now currently in Tehran, the capital of Iran. They started flying around the capital for 2 hours because the air defense system was brought down and the rest of they couldn't really control the whole situation. So let's focus on what's actually been happening first, because one of the main issues that we've been dealing with was actually in regards to the problem with the IDF just sending up missiles. Since then, we now have more updates for you guys, which we can actually show you on the screen. This is the video we received from the IDF showing the progress that they've made in Iran. So a number of sites were initially targeted by the Israeli missiles, as you know. But that obviously, on the first day, the surprise attack by Israel, that was extremely successful. Yesterday, in Tehran, the air defense system was activated. And that actually did a pretty good job in terms of preventing the Israeli missiles to actually directly hit. So as of yesterday, last night, when the Iranian regime massively hit Tel Aviv, the IDF confirmed that, well, the Israeli government initially confirmed that we did warn them not to hit civilians in Israel. They did hit civilians. So the IDF started a massive operation, 2 operations. Number 1, hit all the infrastructure. So that includes oil and gas sites, power plants, electricity, water. This is the next phase of the operation from the Israeli side to bring down the complete foundation of the regime. Second was what's happening now, which is the takeover of the capital using the Israeli Air Force jets. And what we are now seeing is actually, I can bring you guys the next clip that we now have to show you how they are progressing in terms of the whole mission when it comes to the capital, because the IRGC members are now once again escaping, and we have evidence for you guys to also see since yesterday. Now, first things first, the IDF obviously claims that the jets hit 40 sites, including air defense systems, more than 150 sites and 400 components inside and outside of Tehran have now been hit. The operation was planned for years in advance by the Air Force and the intelligence services. They've been practicing this for a long time. And the statement we now have from the IDF is that Tehran is no longer immune. The whole thing is now a massive open goal for the Israeli Defense Forces to continue to progress and advance until the leadership in Iran have collapsed, because clearly diplomacy didn't work and they don't want to surrender. Now, in regards to what we are dealing with, the footage that we are seeing, obviously, the IDF spokesperson said that dozens of aircrafts are now still flying freely over Tehran, thanks to the opening blow that removed the threat of the Iranian air defense system. And as we said, they also confirmed that Tehran, the capital, is no longer immune. The capital is exposed to Israeli strikes. I believe, even though, of course, the IDF have been practicing this for a long time, for these sort of scenarios, I don't know how they felt, but as an outsider, as someone who's just reporting the news for you guys, yesterday was a bit of a pushback. Yesterday, when the Israelis were launching missiles towards the capital, most of it was intercepted. Compared to the first night. The first night, it was a surprise attack. They got everything that they wanted. Even assassinations of the senior leadership of the IRGC. Yesterday, a lot of interceptions. So what they decided to do, late last night and this morning, and now, go target the air defense systems like they did about 6-9 months ago. Now, the capital in Iran is free and open. So, the Israeli Air Force jets have now taken control. This is now resulting in more chaos in terms of what's actually happening on the ground. Let's go to the first video because it's not really just about what's happening in the capital. The air defense systems, but also the ballistic missiles launch pads. So you've got the two aspects of the Iranian regime right now. You've got the air defense systems that most of them are now being eliminated by the IDF. You've got the ballistic missiles launch pads, which they are using to do a counterattack on Israel. Most of the bases are now being targeted as we speak. There is one important launch pad, 25 miles to the western part of Tehran, the capital, that has now been destroyed by the Israelis. We can go to the next video. So that was one of the launch pads for the ballistic missiles. More of them are now going to be targeted. I do need to clarify something. Of course, as some of you already know, we have a lot of new viewers, 909,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for all the support. My father is still stuck in Tehran. He's been held by the IRGC and he's not able to leave, but he's still very much looking forward to the liberation of Iran from the Islamic occupation. And today, downstairs, in our garden, we are having a party. The Iranians are here, and of course, our British friends and everybody else. But we have a special guest who's now commenting in the live chat already. Niak Korbani, Mr. Banana Man and 2CTV reporter, who's currently downstairs saying, you left us alone in the garden. Come on. So yeah, they're basically, the Iranians are having a massive party everywhere, inside and outside of Iran, in the hope of their country being liberated. But although the party we're having downstairs is actually not for that, that's just an excuse. It's also my birthday weekend, birthday week. It's the birthday week. So that's what we're doing. Also, before we go to the next video, because it's my birthday week, today is the last day you can take advantage of our special limited offer to become a member of this channel. If you want to support us and if you want to get more out of this, but use the promo code 2C37. You will get 37% off annual memberships of 2C TV Plus. You can do that by going directly on 2C.tv or find the link in the description. And of course, download the 2C TV app. You get access to all the news alerts, documentaries, chat forum, interviews. If you want to talk to me directly, message us there and everything else that we have. Anyway, let's get back on what's going on inside the country. One of the Iranian surface-to-air missile and radiation installation that the IRGC have been working on for a very long time. This is again in the western parts of the country, in Dalua. This has now been destroyed by the Israeli Air Force jets. Once again, let's go to the next video. This is only a few seconds. So as you can see, compared to what you have in Lebanon with Hezbollah, compared to what you have in Gaza with Hamas, the Iranian regime, because they felt a little bit more secured and because they are an official state, they don't necessarily have their missile launch pads or everything else that they want to attack in residential areas or in schools or hospitals. They don't do that because they feel that, well, we have the whole country, we can actually protect it. They have their air defense systems there. They have the IRGC bases, the headquarters, the palace for the supreme leader in Tehran, in Mashhad, in Isfahan. These are the major cities. But most of the actual sites that they use for military to attack their enemy is outside. And they tend to have it in mountains and in random places, underground, bunkers and everything else. So that's what they've been doing. And of course, the Israelis have two missions. One is to go and attack those things because those sites are the offensive sites. They use them to attack the US bases, which they're now going to be doing. The Iranian regime, as we reported last night, are now also threatening every single country in the world who supports Israel. So there's a difference. The Iranian regime could say, if you don't like us, if you want to attack us, you are now on our hit list. That's not what they're doing. They are saying, even if you support and defend Israel's actions, we're going to come for you. So that includes UK, France, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, everybody. So everybody is now on standby. The Saudis, of course, they are prepared to hit back because the Iranian regime as a Shia dictatorship is a massive threat to Saudi Arabia. But the US bases are now prepared. There were a lot of rumors and reports about attacking the US embassy in Baghdad, in Iraq. But President Trump is ready. President Trump says, okay, we don't have to get involved right now because it's between Israel and Iran. But if you hit us, we are coming for you. So the president is prepared to make a move. The US troops have been prepared over the last 4 or 5 days before Israel started attacking the Islamic Republic. We do have the satellite imagery of Mehrabad Airport. This is in western parts of the capital in Tehran. That's now been hit, and a number of planes have been destroyed. Some people were saying, why are the Israelis hitting big planes, commercial planes? What is the point of doing this? You know, they're not necessarily fighter jets. The reason for this is because, as we reported yesterday, a number of the IRGC members and their family members have left Iran. Today, over the last few hours, we can now also officially confirm that 3 flights have now taken off from the airport in Tehran. Iran Air, Mahan Air, and Yazd Airways. Every single one of them are commercial flights. Now, you might say, so what is the point of it? It's a commercial flight. Airports are closed. The airspace is shut down. No commercial flight is taking off or is landing. We know what is happening. They are fleeing the country. They have fled their capital. Most of them are moving towards Pakistan. Some of them are going towards other countries. And there is no return flight. Everything is just going one way. So more of the IRGC members, or at least their family members, are now being helped to escape the country. What we cannot confirm or verify, and it's important to say that because there's a lot of rumors on social media, and it's probably best not to believe that. People say this leader has escaped or that commander has escaped. No, we cannot confirm exactly right now who is on those flights. We do know that they are IRGC members. They're not normal people, but we don't know exactly who is on those flights. Now, next video we have for you guys, airstrikes have now also hit multiple cities. It's not really just about what's happening in Tehran. They do have Tehran under control, the Israeli Air Force, but in the western parts and northwestern parts, close to the Turkish border, Iran, that includes Lorestan, Tabriz, and Hamadan, and Kermanshah as well. They've all been hit. These are the key military bases for the IRGC, and also, as I said before, since last night when the IDF confirmed, the infrastructure of the Islamic Republic is now being targeted. The oil and gas sites, electricity, water, and all the crucial points. Let's go to the next video. We've just received a video from Tabriz. People are now escaping and fleeing the city after major attacks by the Israelis. Now, let's talk about the reality of the situation because one thing that we have to confirm is that we can officially confirm that 2 more Iranian generals have now been eliminated by the Israeli strikes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even the Iranian state media have now confirmed the deaths of the General Gholam Reza Mehrabi and also Mehdi Rabbani. Both of them obviously were the commanders of the armed forces general staff. These are extremely important figures who have now been assassinated by the Israelis, and this is the operation that was happening last night. If you remember, if you did watch the last live stream late last night, we did talk about how the Mossad and the IDF were doing a massive operation again inside the capital to hunt down more of the IRGC leaders. So this is happening very quickly, by the way. Even though yesterday, as I say, yesterday afternoon, when the Israelis were hitting Tehran, the air defense system actually did work quite well against the IDF, and then they hit Tel Aviv. Either they allowed it to happen, Israel, or it was a good lesson. It was a good wake-up call, a slap in the face, saying, okay, wait, hang on. Let's not undermine the Iranian regime. They did activate the air defense system. They somehow managed to rebuild it. So we need to use a different method, which is now to directly target the air defense systems and the launch pads and now control the capital. Next video, the Israeli Air Force are now saying that their operation against the Islamic Republic is advancing according to the plan. So if you go with what they say, then my theory is incorrect, that they already had this all planned, but it's unlikely because that's not really how it works during conflicts. Things change quickly, but it does help them to say it's all going according to the plan. Now, it is part of the plan. We get it, that they've been practicing this for a very long time. Do not undermine the IDF. They don't know exactly what they're doing. But things change during the conflict. So yes, they might have been a wake-up call, or, as they say, they allowed it to happen, then do another surprise attack. And let's go to the next video that we've just received from inside Iran, showing, of course, what the Israelis. So we can now confirm that the major and main oil and gas sites across the country in Iran are now being hit and destroyed by Israel. So obviously this will have a major global impact in terms of oil and gas and the export of it. But at the same time, this will put a lot of pressure on the Islamic Republic because if they continue to hit them within the next few hours, within the next day or two, people in Iran will not have, a lot of them will not have electricity, will not have water, will not have gas, which means that they're going to get angry, they're going to come on the streets, which some of them already have since last night, and they're going to put more pressure to finish the job and get rid of the Islamic occupiers in Iran. A powerful explosion has now been confirmed also in Ashtianan missionary plant. This is in Lorestan in the western part of the country. I believe we now have the video which we can quickly show you. Right. So the Iranian regime, the Iranian president is now saying that they are getting ready to once again hit Israel. Of course, the full defense inside the state of Israel is activated, but the Iranian regime are saying they're going to be using the new ballistic missiles, which they did use last night, which did cause a lot of damages in Israel. But we'll have to find out exactly what will happen in the next few hours. Of course, we'll keep you guys posted on this channel. We can also now confirm that Israel's main international airport, Ben Gurion in Tel Aviv, is now closed and is now indefinitely closed with no date or day set for its reopening. So if you are in Israel, including my friend Benjamin Butterworth, you are now unfortunately stuck. Obviously, the same applies to Iran, because if you are currently in Iran as a tourist, firstly, I don't know why you would do that, why you would even visit that country as a tourist. You are now stuck, and there is no date that has been set for the airport to reopen. And especially in the next few days, things are going to escalate. They're not going to reopen the airports anytime soon. Now, let's get some reaction from the live chat quickly. We've got Granny, thank you for your super chat, saying, if Israel succeeds, will your father be able to leave Iran? Well, that is the hope that we have. So, of course, my father, who is currently held by the IRGC, we were hoping, I was having conversations with the Islamic Republic to try to get him to come and visit me in London, because I've got my wedding in a couple of months. And the conversation reached to a point where we had to bribe. They asked us to bribe the IRGC so that they could give my dad his passport back so he could just come and visit for the wedding and go back. But they had a look at what I'm doing and our channel, 2CTV, and they still believe that I am an MI6 agent and that I'm an infidel, of course. I'm a Christian, so that means I'm an infidel. And they didn't let him leave. The way it's going and the way it's looking, and of course my dad, who right now, right next door to where he is based, the IRGC base has now been hit, has been destroyed, and he sent me some videos and audio that I showed you yesterday. He should be scared, but he doesn't have any fear. Most people in Iran, they got nothing to lose. They don't have any more fear. And they are just looking forward to this final end and conclusion to the Islamic occupation. So if it goes well, then obviously he'll be able to come and visit for the wedding in London and go back to his country. And also I can go and do a special live stream for 2CTV from Tehran once it's liberated. So stay tuned. We're going to be the first media that will go to Iran. I've got my plans already sorted. I know exactly why and how I will be the first media to be in Iran. John says, can we crowdfund to get your dad to the UK? No. Well, firstly, it depends what you mean by that. If you mean move to the UK, he does not want to move to the UK. He's a patriot who cares about his country, and he will hate to be a refugee or an asylum seeker. He sees it as a weakness, so he doesn't want to leave anyway. But in terms of visiting London, you just have to wait for this conflict to finish and Iran is liberated, and then he can come. As long as the IDF could finish the job in the next couple of months. Bring that dude Shah back and make the Middle East great again. But this is the plan. So hopefully we'll see how it goes in the next few weeks and months. The Crown Prince of Iran, who was on this channel quite recently to talk about his plans, he's the only option in terms of leading this revolution to bring back democracy and parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy and human rights back to his country. Long live the mighty state of Israel. Yes, go on IDF. JNM says, tell Mr. Tusi Senior to be safe. I try, but that guy is crazier than me. So I can't tell you exactly what he's doing in Iran, in Tehran, but he and his friends are causing trouble. Something that he shouldn't really do, but he's doing anything he can to free his country. Hey, former soldier from Israel here. We are strong and hard people. We will prevail. May you and your father be reunited soon. Yes, of course, I haven't seen my dad since I was a kid, and I'm now 37. Thanks to the Islamic Republic for keeping him away from me. But life goes on, and optimism is the only thing that we have. Michelle says, thank you. You are the only source for the more recent updated info without propaganda, nonsense, and clutter. I know, obviously, we pride ourselves on 2CTV, and our slogan is, we are the media, right? But I've been checking the mainstream media, especially the last few hours. I'm not even exaggerating. Sometimes I exaggerate, you know me, right? I'm not even exaggerating this. I checked that CNN, I checked that Sky News in the UK. I'm not even joking. They reported something that we reported yesterday morning. So I would say about 30 hours ago, 35 hours ago. And I was like, how? How do you do that? I know one of the problems they have is just bureaucracy. They have to have a meeting to discuss what they're going to talk about. But it's so weird how many times they mess up when it comes to facts and truth. But when it comes to them just giving you their propaganda, they're very quick about that. Super sticker, thank you very much for the super sticker. And another one says, Mr. Tusi, would we also see a Persian flag in the background when Persia is free from the IRGC? You'll need a wider platform. That's the problem. This is there's not enough space for more than 2 flags. I mean, if just about, I can, but no. There's a reason we have the Anglosphere, of course, in the background, in the backdrop that we have the United States and the United Kingdom, and unless something weird changes. If Keir Starmer somehow stays as Prime Minister, you never know. All right, Iran is now on high alert. Sorry, I'm going to go to Super Chat in a second. More drones. Oh, wow. The IRGC are now trying to do a crackdown inside the country, and they are checking every single car and every single civilian on the streets. They have checkpoints. This is literally like the 1970s, 1979, 1980, after the revolution. Iran became a very, very dark country with all the checkpoints on the streets. They're doing the exact same thing now. They are terrified of people in Iran. They are terrified of those who are against the regime, which is 95% of the country. So we'll keep you guys posted on that later. Sheena says, will the Iranian people have the nodes to use their Starlink? Elon says it's ready to go for them, as seen as the IRGC cut the internet. Yes, so I did speak to my father and a couple of our sources. Every single person is now getting Starlink. So the problem with this is that Starlink satellites are now activated thanks to Elon. Big shout out to Elon Musk. But you need the devices, you need the actual receivers, and you can't just have them easily. The beauty of the Iranian people, they saw this coming. So they have already smuggled in many Starlink receivers from Turkey and the Persian Gulf, so UAE and other countries. And the problem now is that there's a black market. So something, a basic receiver that I could get for about £200 in the UK will probably be, they will charge you in Iran, again, if I convert it to pound or the US dollar, it will be probably about 2,000-3,000 US dollars or pounds. But I've told my father, of course, if he's going to go sort it out, and I will help him to get it. Now, okay, so they've now confirmed Israel has now also hit the South Pass gas field. So gas is now being targeted, as well as oil, as well as electricity and water. So things are going to get very, very difficult in the next few days for the Iranian regime. They are being suffocated, and people will get angrier and angry and desperate. Desperate, no fear left inside the Iranian people's blood. So stay tuned on this, because this channel will be your first go-to source to give you guys that breaking news. The breaking news that we're all waiting for. AFC Man UK says, hi Maya, I know it's off topic, but can you update us on what is happening with the new media conference tickets? Haven't heard anything for a while. Yes, so we are hosting the first ever new media conference, international new media conference in London on the 9th of August. Actually, the tickets should be going live from Monday or Tuesday, which the first round of tickets will be releasing to the members of 2CTV Plus, discounted, because you guys have been supporting us. And then the second round will be the early birds release for everybody else. And then we go from there. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you guys posted. If you're a member of 2CTV Plus, keep your eye on our chat forum, Discord, and also your emails. Shauna says, how do you think the MAGA isolationists will react to a response attack if Iran attacks a US bank or base? Some say, I don't want to fight Israelis war. So that actually, to be fair, that one, I don't have an answer. Your general question about MAGA isolationists, yes, obviously they will be resisting any sort of fight back. But I do want to know what Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens would say if the Islamic Republic are now directly attacking American citizens, right? America hasn't done anything directly, right? And they're just hitting the Americans in the Middle East. Will Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens would still say we shouldn't defend ourselves? It is a good question, right? My instinct would say, well, no, actually, the reality should be these guys have gone too deep with Kanye West. Too deep in the rabbit hole, right? It would seem embarrassing for them to admit that the United States has a right to defend its citizens. Logic would say, even Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, they should say, self-defense, the US should go and defend, right? I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll say that. I might be wrong. They are a little bit insane. Anyway, also from Israel says they showed their hand. Time to clean house. Yes. And Ken says, what is it going to take for the internal and external resistance to make them move against the regime? So what the Iranian people have been told over the last couple of days, the message to Iran was, wait, stay at home, go into hiding, find shelter, wait. Israel is doing its thing. For now, your priority is to keep yourself and your family safe. Wait a few days, wait a few weeks, see what happens. Once the opportunity is there, the regime is weakened, get out, get on the streets. So just give them time. This is supposed to be the plan. Even though last night we had a number of Iranians coming on the streets and chanting and everything else, but we're talking about the masses, as Ken says, everybody. So it's still early days. It's literally only been less than 2 days. So let's see what they do. This is the only opportunity that they have. If they fail, it's at the end for Iran, the Iranian people. A message to my fellow Persians. Stay strong. We are with you. Thank you very much, Aviel from Israel. John says, are the Iranians revolting now? The government is weak. It's still too soon because the Israelis are attacking. It's probably best not to come on the streets while the IDF is basically destroying the IRGC. It's not safe. Just wait another few days and then see what happens. You are the best. Praying for Israel and its mission to save the world with God's help. Thank you so much for that comment. My Colombian adventure says, have the military targets around the Straits of Hormuz been hit? Not necessarily, not yet. The Iranian regime are now threatening to shut down the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf, which will affect global commerce, which means the Arab countries and the United States will be furious. We also now just have breaking news that Vladimir Putin just had a phone conversation with President Trump on this escalation. Obviously, the Russians have said we're not going to get involved, so that's a good sign. China are publicly quiet, but they are privately funding the Iranian regime. The only group of people who have publicly come out in support of the Iranian regime is North Korea, which is not really a big deal. Of course, Russia's public line is to condemn Israel's actions because the IRGC is an ally to Putin. But he just had a conversation with President Trump. We don't know exactly what they've talked about. I'm guessing Trump is basically saying, nothing to do with me. It's between Iran and Israel, which is different to reality. Let's see what's going on. Tusi, if you need some money, ask Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe. I don't need money. Why would I need money? All right. The mistake we made in 1979 was that the US leadership allowed the Islamists to organize. The people must act while the Islamists are in disarray. While I said the Iranian people have to wait a few days, they literally only have a few days. If they miss the window of opportunity to get on the street and finish the job, it will be very, very hard to see how the IRGC would actually fall completely. It's up to the Iranian people to finish the job. Thanks for another super chats saying, I hate to see, I'm just wondering, will Iran be free in 6 months? The way it looks, it should be. But again, you can't really make any predictions because things could change. You never know. MT says, woman, life, freedom. Or as the Persians say, Zan Zendegi Azadi. Raphael says, thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. And Roman says, the US has actively shot Iranian rockets down. Yeah, that was yesterday as we reported on Tutsi TV. You are lying by claiming the USA is not involved. Roman, you have mental illness and you need help, and I'm not your doctor, so I can't help you with that. Make sure to contact your doctor. We have already reported on TCTV that the United States already intercepted the Iranian missiles. Also, I personally have also said that, of course, President Trump is publicly saying, I don't know what's going on, I have nothing to do with me. It was fully coordinated between the US and Israel. Everything that we discussed about 2 days ago, I've already outlined what happened. Everything from Netanyahu's, I'm going on a holiday, I've got a wedding to go to. And Steve Witkoff saying, yeah, we're just having a meeting this weekend, which was supposed to be now, with the head of Mossad. Or Trump saying, Israel shouldn't attack Iran, we're still negotiating. All that was a lie. All that was psychological tactics to distract the Iranian regime. We've already covered that, Roman. You are an idiot. Super sticker, thank you Naima for that. And another one saying, if you may, Mr. Tusi, do get in touch with Erin Mullen. She's an Australian journalist, a big Israel supporter and currently in Tel Aviv. Sure. Is there a reason, or let me know if there's a context to this. Shauna says, my guess is Candace and Tucker will deflect and say something like, well, why do we even have bases there in the first place? It's the Jews. Yes. Oh, yeah, but I'm pretty sure Tucker's already said that in terms of the bases. Is this the end of the 1979 revolution? Yes. Just a matter of time. Don't you think asking Mossad to attack Iran just to get your dad to your wedding? Actually, to be fair, considering Mossad agents and assets are busy operating inside the country right now in Tehran and assassinating, why can't they just do a bit of a side job and pick up my dad? Bring him to London. Engel 888, thank you very much. And Sparkle says, how is the situation in Israel going on? Any casualties? Also, stay strong. Cheers from Bulgaria. So the latest update we have is apparently 4 people have now been killed in Israel by the IRGC. And in the next few minutes or hour or so, the Iranian regime are getting ready to once again hit Israel. We'll keep you guys posted. They need to make it so that Khamenei's only option is to leave. Is to start riding his goat from earth to hell. I think I said just move to Moscow. Yes, you do need money. I don't need money. Stop telling me I need money. If the regime is stupid enough to close the strait, kiss their ports goodbye. As for China, how many of your scientists were there? When you say your, do you mean the Brits or the Iranian regime or my scientists? I don't personally have any scientists. Tusi, I really don't think Candace or Tucker would have a problem with defending our people. Are you sure about that? Okay, if clearly you don't know Candace and Tucker. They have a problem with Ukraine funding, I believe in MAGA. Do you do realize Candace and Tucker, their problem is not necessarily just Zelensky and Ukraine being corrupt? Listen to them. Listen to what they say about the Jews. Listen to their support for the Islamic Republic of Iran. Just keep watching what they say and their position. It's not really just about Ukraine. It's not just about what's going on with Putin. How come nobody says anything about North Korea with nuclear bombs? Because it's old news now. Everyone keeps talking about it every day. It's boring. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep you guys posted on 2C TV. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.